Recently, my family and I went on a road trip to some of the national parks in the West. Don't worry, we took plenty of coronavirus precautions and none of us got sick. I have already made videos about the first places we went on our trip, which were Zion, Grand Teton, and Yellowstone National Parks. Today, I will talk about the effects of climate change on Glacier National Park. As climate change progresses, one of the things that will happen all over the world is the shift of habitats away from the equator. As temperatures rise, plants and animals' habitats will not be suitable anymore, so they will move towards the poles in search of colder places, thus being unprotected unlike they were in the park. The Parks and Peril report, which was released by the National Resources Defense Council and the Rocky Mountain Climate Organization, explains that Glacier National Park is one of the 25 national parks most at peril. One of the things the report explains is that the loss of plant communities could be devastating for the ecosystem of the park. Extreme weather will also become a lot more common in the park, and the freak downpours and floods will ravage the remaining plant communities. Warming temperatures are already melting the glaciers that formed the park. In 1850, there were over 80 glaciers in the national park. In 2015, it was down to 26. If we cannot stop climate change, all of the glaciers will be gone in the next decade. Glacier National Park was designated as a national park to preserve these glaciers, while the park also protects many other things, like the local plants and animals and the sweeping views of the Rockies. If it were to lose its namesake, that would be horrible. Like the glaciers, the snowfields in the park are smaller and smaller every year. As they melt, these glaciers and snowcaps cannot reflect as much sunlight back into the atmosphere, so the park warms up more, thus melting more ice and snow. This is a microcosm of what will happen to the whole planet. Since there's less snowfall every year, the lakes and rivers in the park have a lot less water because the snowfall meltwater is their main source. This will also happen with the glaciers, as smaller glaciers will result in less meltwater. This loss of water is disastrous for the flora and fauna of Montana's Rockies, and the limited resources will send these ecosystems into a downward spiral. The rising temperatures in the park are also warming the rivers, which is killing the local cold water fish like the bull trout. These rising temperatures are also allowing the tree line to gain elevation, which encroaches on the bighorn sheep habitat and kills the alpine plants. The lynx in the national park are also at risk of declining into extirpation because of this. Additionally, there has been a climate change-induced sudden decline in aspen trees because the aspens are having trouble regenerating in the warmer temperatures. These high temperatures and long, dry summers are also making fires in the park more frequent, larger, and more ferocious, as well as lengthening the annual fire season. While fires can be good because they burn the undergrowth and clear out forests, if they become too frequent, these forests never have a chance to regrow. While Glacier National Park is one place that is greatly affected by climate change, everywhere will feel its effects. We have to take action while we still can, and we must solve this crisis. Join me in 2 weeks as I talk about climate change and how it affects Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks.